photocell is not turning the light off. Why?
Welcome back everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to remove your outside wall light fixture to replace a broken Dawn Photocell sensor. We'll go through how to wire up a new photocell, including how to add one if your light fixture doesn't have one. You'll see a few other tips along the way, like how I modified this light fixture to fit centered on a decorative cement trim. And even if you're just installing a new outside light fixture, you'll learn how to do it. So let's go. Now check this out. See how most people just don't turn on their outside lights? It makes the whole neighborhood not as safe. The reason why I added photocell sensors to my outside lights is I don't even have to remember to turn them on. If I return home late, I can safely pull into my driveway. Now this is how you can test your photocell. Shine a flashlight directly into it, and after a few seconds, it should shut the light off. See, this one works. But if I shine my flashlight in the middle one, I could sit out here all day and it's not turning off. I believe because they're getting direct morning sun every day, they eventually fail after a few years. Now I can see the middle light from my load center, and I shut the breaker off seeing that the light fixture I need to work on turned off. Save me from walking back and forth. I count 2 breakers down and added outside lights to the label while I was at it. You can see the second one on the left is number 3. Now that I have the power off, I can safely remove the light fixture. It's secured by these acorn cap nuts. These are not on real tight. I just use my small adjustable wrench until they're broken free, and I leave them loose for now. I need to cut the caulking next, and I don't want the light fixture to separate from the wall completely yet, so that's why I leave these nuts loose. I personally use a carpet knife because the blade sticks out farther than a utility knife, which makes it easier to cut between the light fixture and the wall. You just work your way around the whole base, but you have to be careful or this knife will get you if you're not. With the nuts loosened, I just wiggle the fixture as I work my way around, breaking it away from the wall. Once you feel all the caulking is completely cut, you can now remove the nuts the rest of the way. Next it's time to unwire it. I use waggle lever nuts when I originally installed this light. It makes wiring easier when on a ladder and using one hand. So I just now need to raise the levers up on the neutral and hot wire and it's off. Let me show you how this looks inside the metal round pancake box. You have the white neutral wire, this black switched hot wire, and this ground wire that broke off, and if you want to see how that happened, watch to the end for the blooper. I unscrew the wire nut to remove it. You'll see soon how I reattach it to the light fixture. When you're deciding where to drill your hole for your photocell, you have to line it up with an empty cavity in the electrical box. See how it protrudes out the back? Let me show you at the electrical box. You see you need to line it up where there's space in your box. Let me show you real quick. See how it's lined up with the empty space in the box? You have to plan for that before you just install a photocell. So I picked up a new one, but I already can see it's larger than the broken one. I still want to try it because it's a bit more robust and maybe last longer. Let's install it to see if we get lucky. I next remove the broken photocell. Just one nut holds it on. I want to see what possibly could have happened to it, why it failed. So I pull it out of the light fixture and disconnect it from the waggle by lifting the lever. I was thinking maybe I tightened the nut too tight and cracked the neck, allowing water in, but I couldn't find anything wrong. The only thing I could see is the inside part of the photo eye and lens looks like water or humidity have been getting in there and drying up, leaving mineral deposits behind. Obviously once that happens it fails. Alright, let's see if this one fits. I go ahead and stick it in the hole, spin the fixture around, and screw on the nut. Let's go to the electrical box and try it.
The corner of the photocell is hitting right at the wall there. It's hitting.
So back to Home Depot to get the right size smaller one. I head to the lighting aisle and find it. I pull it out of the box to make sure. This is the larger one, and up here was the smaller ones. Okay, back at my shop desk, I removed the photocell that was too large. Let me show you the size difference. You can see the larger one is twice the size. Too bad it didn't fit. Let me show you what happened when I drilled the hole. I put this rubber washer because the drill bit caught on the soft metal and didn't make a clean hole. It's sharp here with a raised edge. I also added a little clear silicone to seal it closed. I want to clean the silicone off and try to flatten this raised part for a better seal. I'm using my step bit to scrape away and remove the silicone. I should have used a smaller diameter step bit, similar but smaller than the step bit you see me using, to drill the original holes versus a regular drill bit. I placed the fixture on the flat part of my vise and used my hammer to flatten the raised part of the hole. I should have done this originally. Okay, to install the photocell, you put the gasket first. This represents the light base, then the nut. So I install the gasket, insert it in the hole, and attach the nut. I can now feel, because I flattened that raised area when the drill bit caught on the soft metal, it's seating much better now. As I mentioned previously, originally I added silicone and a flat rubber washer to prevent water getting in, but now it's repaired, that's not necessary anymore. I make the last few turns on the nut, and it's installed. One final check and everything looks good. Let's reinstall the ground wire. I need to cut off where the old ring terminal was connected, and I crimp on a new one to the ground wire. Then unscrew the green screw where it was attached, remove the broken one, and install the new one, and it's fixed. Again, if you want to see how this broke, watch to the end for the blooper. Here's a close-up shot. I next clean up some loose caulking around the base. Then I get my lever actuated connectors ready to wire up the new photocell sensor. I'm going to walk you through this so you can see how easy it is. And it's these type of connectors that makes it even easier. Okay, the first connection I'm going to make looking at the directions is the red wire from the photocell to the black wire of the light. So at the fixture again, I take the red wire of the photocell, insert it in the connector closing the lever, and you can see this black wire is going into the light and connected to the red of the photocell. Back at the directions, this is where the wall is in the light electrical box. So the white wire that's coming out of the light electrical box, the white wire from the photocell, and the white wire from the light. So I need a 3-port lever wire connector. So I grab the white wire from the photocell and insert it in the connector closing the lever. Then I insert the white wire from the light fixture into the connector and close the lever. And I leave this third lever up because it's ready for the white wire from the light electrical box. So I connected this white wire and this white wire, and I just need to connect this last one when I install the light. I next take the black wire from the photocell and insert it into a 2-port connector, leaving the second lever up. In the wiring diagram, I took the black wire from the photocell and attached a connector here. Now normally I would repeat what I just did for the black wire for the ground wire and put a 2-port connector leaving the second lever up. But at this moment, I thought it would be easier to put it on the ground wire coming from the light box first, since the wire is so short. But you'll see I'll change my mind in a bit. Note, in the wiring diagram they don't show the ground wire, but coming out of the light electrical box, there is a ground wire, and the ground wire from the light gets connected to that. There is no ground wire for the photocell. Here's a real basic explanation how this works. You have the hot black and white neutral wire coming from the light box, and by wiring in a photocell sensor, daylight or darkness becomes the light switch. When it's bright outside, the switch turns off and disconnects the power from the circuit, and the light turns off. When it's dark outside, the switch is on and allows electricity to go through the circuit, turning on the light. You can research for a deeper explanation, but a photocell is essentially a backwards solar panel hooked up to a switch. While I have the light fixture on the bench, see how I took the original holes to mount the light and I installed black screws with a nut, then using caulking as an overkill to seal the hole. Then I drilled new holes here because I wanted the light fixture to sit up higher to be more centered on my wall, which is designed with some decorative cement trim. I'll show you more on this when we hang the light. So the old light was leaking a lot of water in here. I replaced these lights maybe like 5 years ago, and you can see how the light box is all rusted out. I had to, take screws, masonry screws, and like literally just go into the cement. So, and in the middle here, I put a whole bunch of caulking because the wire is coming from the middle. You can see it here. The wire comes from the attic down into the wall to the light box, and then comes out from the middle here. What you're seeing is the wires like this. The sheathing is cut open, and you have the neutral, hot, and ground here. And the ground wire, they just wrapped it around the screw to ground out the box. And this is where I'm going to put my connector. Now before I reinstall the light fixture, I had non-matching LED bulbs I wanted to go ahead and change out now on the workbench. I like these EcoSmart clear glass LED vintage Edison light bulbs. So I removed the 2 old bulbs and screw on the new ones. This is much easier to do now than when you are on a ladder. I next give the light fixture cover a quick sweep with my whisk broom, removing cobwebs. Then I reinstall the cover with the 2 screws. This is also easier to do now than when you are on a ladder. You gotta make a decision if you want to scrape away the old caulking. Probably best to do that, it sticks better, but I'm gonna just try it like this because I've done it before where I get it right back in the same spot and then just put one thin new layer. See, the original holes are where these screws are. So if I would have put them there, the light would have been too low. So I drilled new holes so the light can go up. So when I stick it on, it falls between the 2 cement decorative pieces. So if you buy a light that doesn't fit in your circumstance, you can always adjust it that way. I'm actually gonna attach this first. I think it will be easier. And then the ground, will just ground it to the light, goes right there. And then, now I'm gonna take the neutral wire
and attach it to the white wire of the light box.
And take the hot, which is the last connection. Before I close this up, I like to point all the connectors up so that if water does get inside, it's just gonna pass through. There's enough cavity space in here to hold all these wires. Next, I reinstall the acorn cap nuts. If you guys are liking this video, please remember to hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so to help my channel grow. I'm gonna take this black cap and cover up the photocell. It should turn on now because it's blacked out. You always want to test it out. There it goes. Knocks. All that's left is to apply a bead of caulking around the light base to keep the water out. I wrap some painter's tape around the light fixture, making this a lot easier to do. Painter's tape, for me, helps me apply the right amount of caulking. The excess just squeezes over the tape and you just remove it. I'm using this DAP white fast dry latex caulk plus silicone and of course my baby wipes. Next I apply a bead of caulk on the right side of the light fixture base. Because of the tape, I don't have to be as careful. I wipe the excess off using my finger while cleaning my finger with the baby wipes, re-wetting them, and then continue tooling the bead with my finger. I add some for the top and wipe the excess off. Then down the left side and the bottom. I hope you can see how the tape makes this easier. I just keep wiping the excess off until I like how it looks. Let me know in the comments if you use tape when you caulk something or you just go for it. Now I just peel the tape off and give it one more wipe because when you remove the tape, it leaves a raised line. Here's a shot what it looks like from the front, which is how most people will view it, and here's what it looks like from the side. I've learned it doesn't need to look perfect. Nobody looks at it as close as you do. Now you see this hole? It's called a weep hole, and if your light fixture doesn't come with this, consider drilling a hole at the bottom, and that will prevent your light box from rusting out like mine did. Mine was getting water from the original light inside and rusting out the light box, but if I had a weep hole, the humidity and any water getting in the caulking would have dripped out. So always consider adding a weep hole. Just take a drill bit and drill a hole right at the bottom where the water can come out. Here's a final close-up shot how the caulking came out. Looks really good, right? No water getting in now. Let me show you a trick I did to ensure the light switch stays on. First, I tape a sign to remind everyone not to turn off this switch. And if someone does turn it off, it lights up so I know. The reason why I don't hot wire it is because on Halloween, once it gets real late and we want to call it a night from handing out candy, I shut the outside lights off.
Sometimes the light shines on this and it'll keep turning on and then it turns off because it's the light from the actual fixture is turning off the photocell. So I had to add a little bit of black electrical tape to make a little bit of a cone. So that's how you solve that problem. Sometimes you can line up one of these beams to put a shadow on the photocell to stop that from happening, but I couldn't get this one. No matter which way I turn this, I can't get it to stop.
If you want something more sturdy than electrical tape, they do sell a photocell shield or photocell cover it's called sometimes, but the electrical tape works fine for me.
So you just add a little piece of electrical tape and you're good to go.
So that's it guys, I hope you liked this video and learned how to either add or repair and then wire up a new photocell, even if your light fixture didn't come with one. Also how I modified this light fixture to fit centered on a decorative cement trim. And even if you're needing just to install a new outside light fixture, you learned how to do it. Ouch. Please remember to hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and be sure to subscribe to see more home DIY videos like this. Click on any of these links on the screen to check out my other home DIY videos. One I show you how I install recessed lights in a bedroom, the other I show you how I added an awesome heavy light in my foyer. Thanks again for watching, bye everyone.